take one. All right, everybody, welcome back to Movie Cranks. I am Mike, and this is Larry. And tonight we are looking at a new Netflix premiere called Triple Frontier with Ben Affleck, Hunnam, and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, you got Hunnam, you got Pedro, Pascal.
Yeah.
You got Garrett, Hedlund. It's an A-plus cast.
Yeah, we got quite a crew going on here. I'm
Oscar
impressed.
Isaac.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, you got 5 men. Special forces, I would take a guess. They don't really say during the movie, but my guess is they're special forces.
Yeah, you can tell.
That are kind of having a hard time since they've gotten home. You got Ben Affleck. He's having trouble supporting his family. He's doing the best he can, but he just can't get it right.
I'm smiling thinking about him being a real estate agent. I can't help
a real estate agent.
He'd make a great real estate agent, I swear to God.
He's a real estate agent in the movie,
He's miserable. He's broke. It reminds me of the old days when I was one. So go ahead.
But you got Oscar Isaac. Yeah, everybody else is at home. He's still fighting. And he has the chance, like I said, of a lifetime to basically rob a drug cartel of millions of dollars. You know what this movie really reminds me of, though? It's kind of like Ocean's 11 meets Lone Survivor.
Yeah. Beginning of the movie felt like the team was putting together an Ocean's crew.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it like copy paste. They had their own unique flair of doing it. You know, it was really well done, I thought. And the other good part was the team felt real. I mean, that's what you don't get with...
Yeah, they felt very real.
You know how the Expendables... Oh, I never thought I'd ever say that.
Yeah.
The Expendables. It may be cheesy and corny, but the crew kind of feels like they're a family. Like they hang out and they do stuff together. And some of these movies, you don't get that feeling. But this one did it real well. Like, you felt like all these guys were a close-knit group that cared for, even loved one another. I mean, like family almost.
Yes, like brothers.
They handled that from the very beginning to the very end real well. And if you're going to have a movie like this, that's a set piece for 5 guys in this sort of environment, you need to have that, because you constantly felt like, oh my God, is that guy going to die? Oh my God, I don't want that guy to die. I don't want this to happen. You kept telling yourself that over and over. You don't want this stuff to happen. And you felt tense, and that's what's been missing from a lot of these superhero movies we see.
And all these movies in the theater. But that's what you get. They got 5, lead actors in a movie. I mean, Charlie Hunnam, I still wonder today why his career just hasn't skyrocketed. He's one of those guys that's like, all the guys want to be him. Yeah. All the girls want him. I mean, he's got the charisma to make it big. Actually, I'm surprised we haven't seen him in some sort of superhero movie already.
And that's the rub.
I mean, King Arthur. I mean, a lot of people out there, that's a guilty pleasure of us.
I love it.
I love that movie.
It was crazy. It was Guy Ritchie. Only problem is with Hunnam, and you can kind of get that from his TV show days, he's a little limited in his acting range. He has that smile and that charm, but he doesn't do other characters very well. Like Oscar Isaac in this. Compare Oscar in this to his other movies we've seen. I think out of everybody, he's still one of my favorites out of this whole thing.
I thought Affleck was really good, personally. He actually, I wouldn't say he's the star of the show.
No.
But to me, that was Oscar Isaac. He's the one that put the crew together. And they're all really the stars of the show. I mean, they all do so good. It's kind of hard to really pick apart any part of this cast.
Ben came off to me as like the dad of the team.
Yeah, because he's got the kids. Yeah. And he wants to put them through school, like we were saying.
He starts off as this responsible, hard as nails guy that doesn't even want to be involved.
Because they actually mentioned at one point the guy hasn't worked in like 2 years.
Yeah, and he's a real estate agent.
He's drinking.
And he's drinking.
They
do highlight that a lot. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but they do show him in the beginning drinking a lot, beer and mixed
he's going
drinks,
through a hard time.
Stuff. And so
put that forward. They even say in the movie here that basically he can't even send his kids to college.
Yeah.
He can't, and he's did all this stuff for his country, and what have they done for him?
Yeah, they definitely had that out there. But I thought Ben's transformation in the movie, his arc.
Oh, he just gets greedy.
Yeah, and I don't know. Some of that didn't fly.
I think anybody would if they'd have seen all that money in the walls.
So, I don't know. See, some of that didn't fly with me because he was so hard as nails and wanted to go buy the book from the beginning. And then, like, a couple days later, he's all of a sudden, I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it kills these civilians, blah, blah, blah. He just, the way he jumped suddenly was a little quick.
At the same time, though, the movie shows you what money will do to people when they're broke.
That's a good thought. The money in this movie is more like a symbol. It drove these men to do things that they would not have normally done. They broke their morals, they broke their code, they did all that stuff because of the money. And the money was basically just paper, and they used it as that.
to set a fire.
They chuck it out the windows, they give it to people in bags. It became just a thing that was taking them. And one of them said something amazing. They weren't fighting for the money. The money was fighting against them, essentially. That's not the whole, I didn't want to spoil it, but it's basically that. The money caused the shooting, the violence, the crash, the drugs, the everything.
Yep, caused all the problems between them.
Yeah, and they really highlight that. They handled it like they were real people facing depression and hard times reintegrating with society. Yeah. They faced all that stuff, and that was a great start of this movie.
And then it works down. They get worked down.
Yeah.
Down to the bone, and they start turning on each other. And I think that's really where the movie, for me, kind of slows down just a little bit.
Yeah, the halfway point, like it seems we keep running into lately, the halfway point of the movie, it starts winding down. And I thought they started winding down way too early. We can't spoil what causes this, but the halfway point is a real turning point for the characters, where they're trying to escape this country, and things are going to shit. I mean, really badly. And they need to get out of this place.
Like the last 15 minutes of that second act.
Part.
The last 15 minutes of that second act just really slows down.
You wanted to kind of see,
even though it does pick up, it does shock you at one point. Yeah. There is a shocking
moment.
I was not seeing. I was expecting something else. I mean, we both were talking about it while we were watching it.
And they do that a few times. They subvert your expectations in this quite a few times, where you think from brain memory, you're going to see a certain character die or get shot, and it doesn't happen, and you're like, wow, that's weird.
They lead you down that road.
They take you down that path.
And you see it, and you're like, oh, not him. Not him. No. And then
see the lovable, likable guy. He's joking around suddenly, and they're making him like the focus for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, he's going to die.
But that's one thing, really. They make you care.
It doesn't happen.
They make you care about these characters because you don't want any of them to die.
No.
And when it does happen, I kind of saw it coming. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
It felt right, though. It felt like that's how this should have been handled, and it's amazing how they take the twist on this. I forgot I wanted to talk about Pedro, Pascal. I don't know exactly how you say his last name, but I really have grown to like him a lot. Yeah. I just watched him in Prospect, and Prospect was a weird, hardcore sci-fi movie. If you really love sci-fi and you want something a little weird and different, that's one to see. He's excellent in it.
That movie, to me, it's a lot like Annihilation.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's very strange, and it's more of a visceral kind of emotional roller coaster kind of thing.
But if you want to check him out in something good, though, he is in Narcos.
Narcos, yes. Another great show
on Netflix.
Yes. And I will say this has its same vein as Narcos. They really had some good moments.
Yeah, you feel Narcos in this movie.
Yep. And I'm glad they used Colombia. I'm glad they used a place that looked authentic instead of sets.
It was on set.
Or CGI.
Yeah. I thought that was actually one of the better parts. You got sweeping, like, drone shots, helicopters, practical effects. This movie was shot in ARRI 65, a whole new kind of cinematography.
I could tell. It looked beautiful.
Yes, those mountain shots with the fog. It's just super clear. It's actually 6.5K resolution.
Whew. And you could tell. I mean, the only thing that was a little odd, did you notice how the night scenes
they got a little
looked
dark.
A little gray and bright?
Well, there's a lot of grays and blues and dark colors in this movie. It's kind of like almost like a DC movie.
Yeah, there was
color scheme here.
Yeah,
it's very dark.
In fact, that is a good. It's like they're not. I don't even know if it was nighttime. It could have been daytime, but it was so gray and so dark. You were like, boy, it must be midnight. But honestly, the overhead shots, the drone shots, did you ever get a feeling you're watching a Netflix movie?
No, this felt like it was made for the theaters. You know, the writing here is really good. It's written by Mark Bowl. He's the mind behind movies such like Hurt Locker.
Oh, great.
And Zero Dark 30.
Yes.
He does military writing well. Yep. He knows what he's talking about, and it shows in this movie.
Yeah, the military format, the handling, the lingo, everything. Their movements, the way they reacted to environments, and the way they planned things was incredible. You could tell he had a lot of experience with military. They did, like, Hunnam starts off this movie, and this isn't a spoiler, it's the very first part of the movie. It starts off with him, his job is sort of like a rehabilitation or a coach for military members. Like, he talks about his service and how it's important for them to keep doing what they're doing, and he's like gives speeches and motivation speeches, and they did it really well. Like, it felt like they brought in actual military people to go over how this is all done. And I thought the writing and the way they communicated was authentic.
Like you said, I thought the dialogue was good.
Yeah.
You know, it's not convoluted. It's easy to follow.
Yep.
You know what's happening throughout this movie. It's not like a political thriller where you're like, what the...
You've seen Bourne and a couple other Bourne-related movies where they get real jumbled up in all the techno stuff and the satellites and the tracking and hundreds of people and blah, blah, blah. This was just them 5 guys almost the whole time working together, and it was so nice. You didn't have a lot of jumps to, like, Langley and well, we gotta fight him on these satellite dishes and blah, blah, blah. It was just focused on them.
I mean, at times here, I was almost thinking, why wasn't this the Predator movie? Why wouldn't they just drop the Predator in this movie?
He has a point. There's a moment in this movie.
I mean, the cast.
At the halfway point of this movie, if you dropped in the Predator, it would have been incredible. It would have probably been one of my favorite sci-fis ever. But you have to get rid of the second half of the movie. You have to go with the first half, the heist. You have to take out the cartel. You have to have the buddy military comrade thing going like they had in Predator, and just drop them in.
It would have been awesome.
It would have been absolutely.
It would have been a lot better than the Predator. Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm still trying to get over that one.
We don't talk about that, Larry. Ending of the movie was soft, in my opinion.
Yeah, it slows down, like I said, about the middle way point. It doesn't get bad. It's still good.
No, nope. But they run out of gas.
It runs out a little bit of gas, and
I mean, you have these incredible action scenes with hundreds of people sometimes, and then you get to the center and the movie's really chugging forward, and the action's coming, the great dialogue, everything, and then all of a sudden it's like they slowed down to a crawl of going on foot. If the ending in the second half of the movie was as strong as the first, this would have been A.
Yeah, this is really, really close to an A.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, it's an action movie. It's a heist movie. It's a suspense movie. It has basically everything you want in a movie. The end fizzles out a little bit. It does still kind of win me over, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'd give this one a B+.
You're right in line with me. I thought the movie itself was very entertaining. I would definitely recommend it. I would say it has some flaws, but one of them is not the cast, and it's not the writing. I think that was done well, and it was smart. It wasn't a stupid action movie. I didn't know what to expect.
I like stupid action movies sometimes.
I do too, but I didn't know what to expect with this. I didn't know what the hell we were going to see, and this took me by surprise.
No, it's smart.
It was smart, and it had a lot of feels to it. I felt for these people, and I wanted to see more. And the way it soft ended,
the way it ends, it almost leaves you wondering if there is going to be more.
Maybe. maybe if this will do real well. I hope it does, because I would like to see what happens next. I would give this a solid B+ as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a solid B+.
Yeah.
If I was going to give it a percentage, it'd be like 88, 89. It's so close to an A.
Yeah, I agree. But it does not deserve a 60 or whatever I'm seeing so far on
Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore.
I don't say the name of the review site because they'll use that against you. But bit of a programming note. If you haven't watched it, we had another review of Captain Marvel we just did. And we did a special TV series review.
The Terror.
Of The Terror, and that's also available. Make sure to click and watch those as well.
That's about it, guys. So don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Do all that good stuff. Help us get 1,000 subscribers.
Yes. See, we're going to put it right here. That's where it normally goes.
I think we're at 421 now.
Yeah,
we've been going up and down, kind of.
We're getting there. We'll be at 1,000 by the end of the year.
Hopefully, yes. I think we can do it.
So,
but we need your help. So go ahead and subscribe. And that's about all, guys.
And we got some trailers, some really good stuff trailer-wise, so that'll be coming up too.
Putting out some trailer reactions.
So Larry's going to help me work on this.
And don't forget Captive State this weekend.
Captive State, yes. We'll be reviewing Captive State as soon as it comes out. We'll get that out pushed. We'll push it harder than the last ones. We've been a little behind. We've had some family sicknesses. We've had some other issues we've been dealing with.
And we're not pro editors.
Yeah.
We're just two guys in a basement.
I've edited 7 videos in my lifetime, so we're working on it. So anyway.
That's about it, I guess. Yep. Until next time, guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Peace.